We're live.
Excellent. Okay, hello everyone. We're back for another week of mojo reading, reading people's innate nature through their physiological cues. This week's case study is another set of actresses. And so, introductions. I am Nai Coach. With me I have...
Jailene.
And Zaini Adimas.
Naiji Mitchell.
Naiji Ben.
Nijai Infiniti.
Nijai Sarbo.
Actually, Gabe was on the screen. Go ahead.
Oh, Naiji, Gabe, or Neo Magus, either one.
And we have Glenn joining us.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to get some cool case studies tonight on actresses, but first we have several very neat nuggets to go over. The first one is talking about the topic of motivation. And motivation is something that you need, actually I'd say motivation and confidence are two things that you really need to do throughout your life. And in the practitioner program, you'll find that staying connected to your motivation and monitoring and flexing your confident muscles is something you'll need to do in mojo reading, in voicing, in going out and talking to people in the field, to putting yourself into an artistic artifact like making ebooks and like publishing, putting your name on it, whatnot. All those things require a lot of motivation and confidence to do correctly and to keep going long enough to get to proper completion. So in the context of mojo reading, I've often found that it's good to have a very good understanding of what your motivation is and what your confidence is, even if it's something that you may not be comfortable with, because then it can be worked on. And for myself, I found that when I do purification cycles, I go back and look at samples, I realize I had, hey there, Glenn, I realized that I had the answer wrong. When I look at why that was, often it's because I was not coming at it from enough motivation or the proper motivation, and also as a part of that, I may have been scared for some reason. I was daunted. And instead of realizing I was that state, I would make like other reasons for it, and your mind's very good at actually coming up with all kinds of rationalizations. And almost every misread I go back for, some of it's technical, but the majority of it is some rationalization I did to myself that I was not able to come to see at the time. That rationalization sounded to my brain like physiological cues being read, but it wasn't. So that's a good topic to talk about, is that when your motivation or confidence are attacked either by fatigue, by performance anxiety, by, say, lots of other things competing for your energy attention, watch out for your motivation and confidence and summon it and flex it and be aware of its state. In fact, we're actually watching American Ninja Warrior here, and one of the things that you have to know is what the state you are in before you do each event. If you misread it, then you'll actually try and do it when you're not ready, and you can't summon it. Then you have problems. Either not being able to summon it, that's the motivation issue, and the confidence is believing that you have an answer when you don't. So those are things that I find that really help in the spiritual aspect of it. And I gain a lot of understanding of myself by mojo reading when I go back and kind of look at any errors I made. And not just errors, it also goes productively like forward when I'm trying to read. I'll feel myself trying to reach out for the target, and for some reason it's foggy. And then I'll find a reason to come off the mark. But usually, if I actually just focus on why is this foggy and just accept that I may, what I usually do is I'm like, whatever the answer is, it is. I try to get to that headspace. Whatever the answer is, it is. And it takes as long as it takes. And I kind of settle in for a long ride. I'm like, fine, I want to do 10 reads this morning, but I guess maybe it'll just be one. I'm just going to watch this all morning. And I find it melts away things that were making it seem uninteresting to me or I was nervous of. So disinterest and dauntingness start to melt away, but you have to just look at it and then start seeing what's causing you to have those reactions and then put them in their proper place in your psyche, and then you can be motivated and you can see clean. So it's important to note that when you do mojo reading, you will be performing soul surgery on yourself as you do it. You'll be actively flexing your enlightenment muscle. To get interested in other humans, how they work helps you to be able to develop love for yourself or the humans. It all comes from being able to reach out and connect, and that's the primary muscle in mojo reading, is to like have an interest in what is this creature, how do they work. So I find myself that sometimes I often will take breaks when I'm mojo reading, particularly when I have lack of motivation. I may have mentioned this before, I'll leave the sample running and I'll pace. And it's very effective. I find that often when I misinterpret it for disinterest, because what's more interesting than actually studying human souls? But what's actually really disinteresting me is that there's something else in my mind. Me and Demas have done this a lot where he's trying to mojo read and like your mind's wandering. We actually will take a time out, have a conversation about it, figure out what's actually on your mind. Sometimes things like are very unrelated to mojo reading, but the mind wants to work on that. Fix that, put it down, and then the mojo reading becomes interesting again. So a lot of times you can use mojo reading to almost find out how to prioritize your life. Try to reach out to mojo reading. If you have a hard time feeling motivated or confident enough to do it, ask why. And then whatever that is, handle that. Handle that, put it where it's supposed to go, and you'll find all your abilities, including mojo reading, will go up. Your interest in peaking will go up. But whenever you try and peak, particularly something so raw like mojo reading, you'll instantly find any impediments. So that can feel painful, but I find if I go into mojo reading, yeah, everyone here, I would suggest you do this kind of like when you actually like are going to do target shooting or whatever. You have to factor in the wind. And if you're outdoors, there's always wind. Even indoors, if it's big enough, there's wind. So whenever you actually are trying to read something, always, every single case, you'll be updating your view on existence, and you're putting yourself out there in your head or in your voice or here on camera on what your answers are. And you have to battle that. And so it's good to tune it out to a degree once you've accepted that it's there and that you want to work on it. So a lot of times, if I'm not in a mood where I'm willing to spend the psychic, heroic energy to level up, it's probably not a good idea to do mojo reading until I can do that. But everyone should want that ability and have the ability to go like, I want to level up now. So when you see mojo reading, basically it's an opportunity to level up if you flex. So that's kind of one thing I kind of keep in my mind when I'm doing it. Curious if anyone else has any thoughts on motivation, also confidence. Kelly?
Well, I know that just from personal experience doing the mojo reading, I can resonate with what you were saying about that being sort of like soul surgery every time you go into to do mojo reading. Because at times, at different times during the training, looking at different samples, you know, I've had to get over, like, I felt like either at times anxieties come up or like not wanting to look at the samples, which I interpreted in many different ways depending on how I felt about those samples, you know, those swaths of samples. It could have been like disinterest, or it could have been sometimes, you know, just like I don't like them, or, you know, like just different things have come upon me while reading samples, or like certain riffs or whatever it is, that then I've had to go back and try to, you know, examine it, because I guess at the end of the day, what we're doing here is trying to read humans' innate natures, and you know, there are humans in like lots of different areas, careers, you know, nationalities, lots of different factors and variables that are upon them, but they're all presenting this pattern, these patterns, and those are the patterns that we're trying to read, and they have, you know, modifiers of difficulty depending on whatever, you know, variables that are, whatever factors are stacked on them. But I guess, like, at the end of the day, I think, like, I end up coming back to, like, it's something within myself that I need to, like, examine in order to, because it always teaches me a lesson, I think. I feel like it's always, like, taught me a lesson that's unlocked more of my, unlocked more of my energies overall. Like, consistently, I've felt that, like, the more I look at these things, when I lose either motivation or whatever it is when I come upon samples that, things come upon me, like when I look at them and I unlock them, like I feel like I'm like unlocking energy and kind of growing from it. So I mean, I don't know. I thought that's one of the things that keeps me coming back to mojo reading is like it's because once I learn those lessons and then apply them, and then go into the world again, I feel like I get like a clearer lens on things, and it allows me to like approach things, I don't know, a more natural way.
Yeah.
I guess.
I do find this as well. I find sometimes also that a lot of times my disinterest is proportionate to how challenging I'm finding it. So like
sometimes, yeah.
For example, like I find that if I feel really good about doing it, generally it's fun to read samples, even in fields that aren't really my thing, if I feel that I am going to have a very good chance of getting it right.
Yeah, and sometimes
earlier.
it has to do with like things like, for me, it has at least like stresses in my life too, or other things that I'm like, I just don't have time to deal with mojo reading, but actually sometimes doing the mojo reading helps me get through those other things.
It's true.
I don't know, somehow.
It helps me because it's a great conscious meditation.
It is.
Because you have to go quasi state.
Yeah, and you do have to go into quasi state. Yeah, that's actually ends up helping.
That's like, because in order to mojo read, you have to go to quasi state. When you go in quasi state, you'll learn things about yourself, and you'll have to like work it up.
Yeah.
And Dimas, do you have anything?
Kind of adding on to what Shailene was saying, how when there are already kind of stressors or pressures to mojo read, pressures that are inappropriate on your mojo reading time. Like only having, because that's what happened this week for me too. Like I ended up not nowhere near as much time as I wanted for mojo reading, so I had to do it in ways that were a bit more uncomfortable. And multiple samples.
This is the AC on.
Okay, doing multiple samples in kind of several hour period of time, whereas I'd rather kind of just focus on like one for a good while. And I had to kind of keep coming back to them to actually get something strong on them, because as I was approaching it, like I knew I can't feel strong on this because like I feel like I'm being moved by so many inappropriate things, and I'm stressors for one, other appropriate things as in where it's like I just need to get settled in this person, I'm having a reasonable amount of difficulty reading them, but things like that can, added with stressors, can kind of cause a lot of doubt where A, you're having trouble seeing something to latch onto, and B, we're also like, how do I know I'm seeing anything at all? How do I know anything's there? And you're like, you need kind of more time to settle in to kind of process all that. So
you come fight when you come back, keep coming back to it.
You gotta hold yourself on a point until it happens.
Yeah.
If you pull away, you won't get to that clarity or equilibrium. You kind of have to like just hold, and then it starts to ebb. As you look at it, like, why am I feeling it? What's impinging on me? And then it starts to settle. But you have to stay focused and hold that focus. It's an incredible tool for focusing like your spiritual psychic energy. Because I've done a lot of things like combat sports competition and like debating and like things where you have to really summon your energy. And I'm telling you, mojo reading taxes me, I think, more than any of those. No, I know for a fact it taxed me more as a human being than any of those things ever did. And those are considered things that most people can't get their energy up for. So I'm telling you right now, as a person who has summoned their energy intensely in a lot of different things, this one is the highest level, most nuanced, most pure. It's my preferred Kensei hobby of choice. Because you cannot do it without immediately going into a spiritual state, because that's as clean as you can get. Your spiritual stuff, your artistic stuff, your worldly stuff, your dating stuff, your living space stuff, it's all on your radar. And so you have to account for all of it while you mojo read. Yeah, you basically have to constellate your life when you mojo read, because you and your life, that's your lens. So it's very effective in that way, but it's very, very taxing, but it's definitely worth it. I'm curious, anyone else? Mitchell? I know I'm sure you different times you have different, say, motivation or confidence levels. Do you have anything about like what makes those happen or what helps you get through it?
I mean, I definitely agree with everything that's been said so far. I like what Demas say about just really sticking with it and trying to give yourself time with all the samples. I actually had the same thing. I was just so busy that I didn't have as much time as I would have liked. But other than that,
It is important to be able to get over constraints, but part of it is noting them. You notice, like in the casual incantation, we actually go at lengths to describe to people the difficulty levels in doing it in person versus lab, and based on other factors such as toxicity, interest level, and so forth. So any of that can be gotten over, but it is good to actually notice. So I'm glad we're actually kind of talking about that as a thing, but always from the point of view that humans are meant to get over. You're meant to actually do mojo reading. And so the question is how to get your focus and your accuracy back. Do you have anything that has helped you get yourself back to steady and clear? Any practices? To Mitchell, I was curious.
I'm thinking.
The ones that work the best for me has been to kind of allow myself to mull things over or to sound out while not, because there's a temptation to do that and then go away from the computer screen and the mojo reading. So I like to keep the mojo reading hot, but then allow myself to kind of pace around and mull over thoughts. But then I found I can almost like feel my interest go up as I mull and then look back at that sample. And over time, I can almost feel like it mocking me in a way I find annoying. I'm like, oh, come here, and I can read it. But I kind of have to like put some stuff down first, but not without stepping too far away from like the magnetic attraction of it. So I'm curious, do you have anything that you do, or it doesn't be like anything physical? It'd be something in your head.
One thing I do is I like to compare the samples to samples I've read in the past, or try to see if I can find. I mean, that's pretty obvious, I guess, because that's just riffing in general, which is just a mojo reading factor. But I feel like maybe if I could compare it to something I've already done, it makes it seem more, I don't know, less daunting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another
constellate it within my pantheon of samples I've already.
That's excellent. That's like two good techniques. Another technique, I think, to me, the third technique here, I just thought I'd really do as well. Actually, this is one that Jarlene does a lot, and we tend to do it a lot when we're together. But and I like doing it myself as well. Is I use the fact that I think Jarlene probably does the same thing as well. I actually have to watch out for over-investing in people's lives. I mean, as my mojo, I actually use it to my advantage. And so what I do is if I have a hard time getting to reading them, I will go to Wikipedia or go around the internet and I'll just start looking at their life. Because basically I can feel like a resistance, like I don't want to quote unquote get into this. So I'm like, no, I'm going to get into this. And so a way to ensure it, because mojo reading, you're like, I'm not sure if I'm able to read or not, so I'm not sure if I can get into it in that way. I can get into reading about them. So I basically force the issue by going up and reading about their life until my brain starts clicking on, huh. And once it starts actually accepting the fact that we're going to be talking about this person, they're going to be in our headspace, and we're going to be mulling on them, it then opens the door to the more difficult feat of reading their innate nature, physiological cues. But if I find a muscle like resisting being woken up, I can kind of force it to be woken up to a degree by like just reading about their life. So that's, go ahead, Ben, do you have something?
It looks like Starglow also has something, so maybe after him.
So
that works.
Ben and
I like the reading.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention whenever I have like issues with a particular sample in general, I find that it generally helps to read a little bit about them, get an idea of like what their story is, and then look back at their video footage again to just to kind of get your head around their story as a whole, just so you have the fit figured out, just in general. That's all I was gonna say.
yeah, cool. Starglow?
Yeah, so one of the things that I find helpful in getting motivation up is creating a habit, because if you and this may not work as well for somebody who doesn't have the invite, I'm not sure how that would translate. But the habit is I when I first get the samples early in the week. Now I have a really tight schedule and a lot of work time and all that, so I don't have a lot of time during the week. But when I first get the samples, I do a Google search of their scroll through the images for just, it doesn't take but 5 seconds to do each one, and then I read the 1-inch Wikipedia quick blurb that's usually on the front page when you Google their name. So it takes less than 10 seconds for each sample at the beginning of the week. That way, because I'm not able to usually get into reading until Saturday and Sunday, but the fact that I have those pictures now, especially if they're mojos that are persons that are unfamiliar to me, the fact that I have those pictures in my head of the people that I'm going to be working on the next weekend, even if that's 5 days away, my subconscious is still working on that. My ether is working on that. All that's going on, and I don't have to do. There's no extra effort. So by the time I get to my reading on Saturday and Sunday, I'm like, okay, I'm excited because now I need to figure out who they are.
No,
Yeah.
That's foreshadowing
Yeah.
piqued your interest already, and you were working on it during the week in your subconscious.
It's a very good point, Starglow, and
Yeah.
that's something. Two things on that. One, the general process, and then also the thing you said about the routine. The general process, I think, applies to everyone, but the routine part does actually favor the Nijai. But I actually can get that through my other, and it's interesting that you mentioned that. So that's really cool. How you can do it through either your conscious powers or your unconscious. You have to reach further when it's with your unconscious and do rituals that will make your other come to you. But then if you do, then you can enjoy the benefits of their gifts as well. As far as the process, yes, that's the one that I recommend. That's what I used to do as well. I like to kind of look at things 3 times. Once is as soon as I realize what it is I have to do, like the overall caseload. I recognize what the caseload is. I like to canvas the whole caseload. Just go look at a picture of something and just kind of look at what it is I have to do. I find that there's a tremendous amount of fear you have to get over almost at every stage. And when you go and you canvas it, it stops being the unknown. It's 5 samples. You've seen their faces. I find that having a reluctance to look at them early in the week is something you should really get over. And because you don't actually have to come up with any answers.
I have to get over that.
Right.
Just look at them.
Because
There's a fear.
is a nice.
There's a big benefit. Let me just finish it real quick. Is to go along with what Starglow was saying. Is once you get over the fear of just accepting the psychic headspace this caseload is going to take by doing the initial canvassing, then your brain starts working on it. And the sooner you can get that engine going, the less scary it'll be. And it does a lot of work on its own time. Then the next pass, I like to look at them and just drink them in until I am full. I don't think about whether or not I actually can get the answer. I just try to drink them until I'm full. And then I go for, I'm going to start trying to close out the answers. And that I usually is the third part. I even tier that where I go and I do easy closes, mid closes, and then revisit closes. So that's kind of process that I use. And I find that by holding out, scoring myself to the end, oftentimes, and this is something that's a recurring theme, answers that percolate up into my brain when I'm just walking around before the time I have to give my official score, they're often my strongest reads. I canvas the whole thing quickly, then I take each one and drag it in, and I let go of my brain, and then it pops out. So that I very much agree for everyone to do. It has a lot with just making the commitment and having the courage to do it, especially if you accept that I don't have to have the answers. I just have to look at it. Johnny knows, she's seen me for over the years, and this is not just Mojory, this is like almost every major breakthrough in Pod Lair. At some point, I had to stare at something in the face. And genius lies behind doors you are scared to go through. Know that. Over and over and over again, you're genius. What you need is behind the door you're afraid to open. Just open it. Even if you get your ass beat at first, that's the first step. Accept that you're going to open that door and walk in. You're not going to walk out. You're going to go in there and you're going to do what you that thing. You're going to do what you can do. Once you do that, it unlocks your psyche. But until there's like these firewalls, these fear firewalls, you have to get through them a lot. Next, talking about the routine. That does favor the Z and vibe. But if you have a strong connection to your other IG, like with the Nexie, I've mentioned this in many of my vlogging, she really gives me like these heroic feats that I need to do in order for her to actually think I'm cool. So part of that is she sets heroic workout routines for me to do. And so there's a Z and vibe, like Charlene knows, like my spirits get upset with me if they'll set things like today you're supposed to do this. If I don't get that number, I am not a happy camper.
Because you usually report to me on what your goals were and then how you did on them.
I did on them.
Because you kind of use me as a soundboard to like.
I do, very much so.
Keep them accountable.
Yeah.
And that, for both Nexies,
awesome.
That's a native language for me.
Yeah.
And as a part of that, and this gets back to the fear, so they're connected. One thing that Nexi's always done for me, and Serenity, is the bar they set. Is you choose the best way, and then you go hard. If you choose the best, highest way you can, and then you go hard, you win. That's how the AdRoms score the Z of that. So if I actually look at the sample and I go in, I give my best go, you get credit for going. That's the key, because you'll never get good at things you're scared of if you can't get past the fear. So that's one thing they're very good at. They kind of like, today, you have to actually spend 30 minutes. And so at some point, I'll try to avoid it. And generally comes down to, I have an ego. I'm afraid that when I look at it, I'm feeling weak and fuzzy today, and so in 30 minutes of looking at the sample, I'm not going to pull anywhere near as strong as I normally do, and that's going to make me feel like shit. And so I don't really feel like experiencing that feeling. So, you know what I mean? But that's just the fact of it. But I've mentioned this like with grappling, she knows. Like there's a technical aspect, but a lot of people just cannot accept what it feels to have fatigue. If you cannot actually fight with fatigue, you are just going to suck ass. I don't care how much skill you have. That's a spiritual thing. You have to be able to summon yourself when you're tired and when you're scared. Otherwise, you just can't do what you need to do at the time.
Yeah.
Because you can study technique, but at high energy moments, the biggest technical thing going on is high energy. You're going to be vibrating. Vibrating, and you're tired, you're foggy, and you're like, I'm still going to do it. And it's weird. Once you push that, it's clarity. People mention this often in emergency situations where they're really, really scared, and at some point they're like, I have to run. That kind of pushes them out of the room. They run, or they're like, I have to stay. And once their psyche realizes there's no point trying to push me off me doing what I'm doing here, it kind of like, well then, I guess I should just give you all the resources I can since you are determined to stay and save the child. Moms talk this all the time in emergency thing. They're scared shitless for themselves, and then they realize that their child's in danger. And then they have a moment of clarity. They're like, I'm not running. I'm going to go get that child. And once they have that moment, the rest of their synapsia just accepts the fact that running's not an option and scaring me off me doing it is just not going to happen. So you might as well just give me the most clarity and fluency and courage and whatever you can give me, because that's what we're going to be doing right now. So, and Modry is the same thing. You have to kind of get you and your psyche to accept, okay, we psyche, we're doing this.
Yeah, so that actually feeds into the piece with me feeding the pictures, like on Monday, to my nigh unconscious. The nigh unconscious, by the time Saturday rolls around, my nigh unconscious has been working on that case, and that's now it has become, my nigh unconscious, he has invested in those cases now, so it's important to get this done. So then my meat kicks in on Saturday, and I do more of the canvassing and check a little bit about each of the people and that kind of thing and see what bubbles they're in. And on Sunday is when I usually take the time to read, like to really read. I might play with some videos on Saturday, but I usually take more time on Sunday. Even if it's not as much time as I would like to be able to devote to it. But that's my process. And because it's a pattern, because it's a habit, that habit takes over, and I do the thing on Monday, which creates the rest of the habit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It starts a good sort of sequence that it's kind of like, well, Monday I did arms, and Tuesday I did legs, it kind of seems like on Wednesday I should finish up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game to like start a cool routine and not finish it off, particularly if your other's into it.
Yeah. Yeah. So feeding my Naya the pictures is really important to me in the beginning. Like, and that really doesn't take but, 5 minutes, literally, 5 minutes. And if you can't do 5 minutes of feeding the pictures to yourself on Monday,
Yeah. And also something else too is a lot of times there can be a not accepting of how much work it's going to be, and that causes it to be an issue. One thing I like to do is basically have like 3 times the time you think you need.
Yeah.
So you have the time that you think you need, which when you think about it is usually the watching time. Right. But I found that if you really want to do it correctly, to accept that you need to watch, say, 10, 20, 30 minutes of video, and that you may also need to spend, I should change the wording. You should actually go with the hunger. I'm also going to need to be hungry enough to read about them for, say, 10, 20 minutes or more on Wikipedia. And then, third is I'm going to actually just walk around, go take a walk, go eat lunch, and when I do that, I'm going to just mull on it. I'm just going to ponder on that while I eat my Subway sandwich. So that really is what is done in the process. So it's an involved process, but if you don't accept it, you'll try to cut the corners. And then you'll find it doesn't work, and then your confidence will drop, and you won't want to do it at all. So it's better to be like, okay, to do a sample, I need to look at it, read on it, and then mull on it. Even I find if I don't have the time to devote to it that I'd like to, when I shrink the time down, I try to make sure that I account for the fact that I still need to maybe like read up on them a little bit to get interested, and also to pace around mulling them a little bit to actually feel confident. For me, particularly being a Nai G with my Nai, I often will need to. I think I've seen Jailene do this. I know I've seen Demas do this. Maybe it's a subjective thing. I'm curious if Nijai to do it as well. I need to actually, once I think I have the answer from staring at them at the screen, I need to look away from them. I need to look away to the wall or something else and just think on that. And if I feel good about that answer without them looking at me. You know what I mean? It's sometimes it's like they sway you. Yeah. So if I think I have the answer,
totally.
I like to walk away, feel it, and come back and look at them again. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not so good with that piece because when I think I have the answer, I want to be done with the sample. I want to move. It's like the same hit and run Nijai thing. Is I want to be done with that interaction and go to the next interaction.
Onto the next. But it usually is worthwhile when you do go back and you do have a little bit of that maybe extra date to have a little bit of that space to wonder, okay, was it really this way or could it have possibly gone the other way? Yeah. So while I do want to get it over with, sometimes that little extra bit really helps.
Yeah, and on that, just I also feel the urge to move on, and you do sometimes need to do that because you don't want to over revisit. So that's definitely
right.
Yeah, you don't want to get like bogged down.
Run circles. But what I'm talking about, I do. Oftentimes, to go on what your guys are saying, if I'm moving fast, and I want to kind of like close it. I'll still do it, but I'll just do it quickly. I'll kind of like I have the answer, and I'll look away just for like 2 seconds, kind of like just to clear your eyes, like rub your eyes, and then look back. So I can do it like under 5 seconds. I'm like blah 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 this and that. In fact, a lot of times I actually use Jailene or Demas. I actually will look at the screen and I'm like, I think it's such and such, and I'll look at them and I'm like, I think it might be such and such, and I allow just interacting with them for like a second or two to be a palate cleanser, and we kind of do it naturally. So, and we all kind of like we look back, we nod, or we don't.
So you find that the only like 2 minutes or something like that of looking away is enough? Because I often find that I need to be away for a while.
No, what I'm saying is a very good question, if needed. I'm saying there's a range of a minimum and a maximum. At a minimum, I like to, once I have the answer, this is in person as well. If I actually think I've read the person, I just like to look down at the counter, look outside of my car, anything, just for a second to clear my palate, and then go back for a
Sure.
Like I think I have it, let me look away and come back. That's minimum. Now maximum, I think I actually also like to come back after a few days. I come back after a few months. As you know, I purify. I keep revisiting constantly on a regular basis.
Exactly.
So no, I actually like to go do long revisits, but there is a point where within a given time period, whether it be an individual sample as she was referencing, or in a purification cycle, as I've referenced, where you're like, I'm spinning circles now. At this point, I need to just kind of like get some rest and move forward from there. So, but definitely you need to cleanse the palate and revisit, even if it's just a quick look away, or more long-term ones. Sound
Makes
good?
sense.
I will
totally.
do that, but I don't. The longer term ones, I don't
No,
want to do those.
yeah, I understand that, but because that's more inclined to the worldview. The worldview enjoys, even like I mean, even if it got the facts wrong, it enjoys the fact that it's been keeping facts for several decades, and now it goes back and check the facts, like that fact goes here, like it's pleasing to the worldview.
Yeah,
Can I
and
make
so now when I get an answer after the quiz, my VI wants to kick in and update and go back and revisit that sample and look at it and see why I got it wrong. I've always done that with tests and quizzes and things like that. So in that way it wants to update, but it doesn't want to update like I may take 30 seconds to look away and look back, but I don't want to, when I'm in the process of the quiz, I don't want to look away and come back, and I just don't want to do that.
Well, that kind of adds another layer to your confidence, and you build this as you train in Mojo reading, and that's kind of being mindful of the call to the unknown, the call to kind of go back and revisit, like maybe there's something I'm not seeing, which is that what I've noticed, and like I said, like this week where I didn't have a lot of time, I tried to do everything with what the time I had. And that meant leaving a lot of reads half done, where I would look at it and it's like, I've narrowed it down to this social alchemy grouping, I got to move on though. Or another one where it'll be like, I'm leaning on this, but I'm open to 3 others or something like that. Then when I'm at a time like, usually when I'm over here, like on Saturday or Sunday or something, when I can actually go in and I'm feeling clear in headspace where I can actually allow myself to completely detach and look at them, then I will feel compelled to look at certain samples over others. Because there were some that I did during the week where it's like, I'm thinking about that one, it's like, I don't really feel compelled to check that one. But there are others that I feel really need my attention. And so I'll go to those first and then kind of do what I need to do to really falsify every other possibility, where I'll come in and then be like, I see this, I think I see this, but to be sure, I'm going to try and see if I can see this other possibility. And then basically it's kind of, it's essentially shape-shifting, going into a different perspective where you're like, I'm going to advocate for this possibility. Now I'm going to let go and try advocating for this possibility. Now I'm going to let go of both, and then measure how both of those went.
That takes effort and courage.
Yeah.
So know when you're doing it that the kind of genius you need will take a lot of spiritual effort and courage. But you have it in you. If you flex it, it'll go up.
Yeah.
Like a muscle.
And it absolutely our powers. So it's not one that is that I willingly want to go for either.
So it's about 6:30 now.
Mm-hmm.
So we can move on. But that was really great. And I didn't want to shut that off because I think that's really gold, and it's the key to doing the Mojo reading is kind of knowing why you're doing it, holding on to that, and as you walk towards doing that, the static you get, the depression you get, the cloudiness you get is being able to walk through that. So that's a key part to it. So it's important we touch that on a regular basis. Okay. So before we move on. I was going to do a scroll through of the Nijai female, but I don't think we have time for that. But I do want to actually talk about some stuff on that real quick. Because with Nexi, I think it's over here. Yeah. I was, upset that I didn't get some of the Nijai correct. But then she told me that, I just had to try, and that's how I'm getting as far as I am, and to look forward to when I purify, because then I get a more pure understanding of Nijai, and a Nijai female in this case, which is what Nexi is. So we actually had a really nice time once I got past the purification. Me and Nexi had a nice hangout session. We always have lots of those, but this one was particularly about kind of like, seeing more of what the Nijai female is. She's happy that she is seeing it better through my eyes and that I'm becoming wiser on it. So I'll share these with you. because in the Nijai female, with ones that were updated to other mojos, there were themes on it. So certain kind of swaths were taken out, while other, say, riff swaths were left in. Because of that, the sort of overall essence of it has shifted. And so I want to kind of go over those. One is they're more conversational. A lot of the Nijai that you would say are like, clever, interesting conversations. Not interesting, but like to actually do clever wordplay and like to actually have very bantery conversations and to mix up different topics. Those Nijai all remained. And so a lot of the Nijai that, or the faux Nijai, were like Bijai. So a lot of like the more visceral, physical focus of a Jez gatherer was removed from it, leaving more of the conversational allure. Not that Bijai don't have conversational allure. Both of them have a lot of allure, and they do it conversationally and physically. But with the loss of a lot of these, let's say, dancers and a few other ones like that, and some of the pop singers, they were mainly Bijai, so that element shifted. Also, of the ones that remained, because we talked about like what left, but actually it's kind of more fun, next to saying, to look at it how it changed by what remained. Tomboyish. The tomboyish Nijai are all still there. Also, more techie sciencey, because all the ones that were updated, almost none of the Nijai sciencey ones were updated. So that means the overall concentration of techie ones is higher. More sensitive, going along with these more visceral, say athlete, say Bijai and some Nizai, whatever. There was more like of a steadiness that was with them. When they were removed from the demographic, that makes the ones that remained, there's more of a sensitivity to the Nijai. We already knew that they were very sensitive, but when you remove the ones that we did, it heightens that. Authors, all the authors remained. So we've already seen that they're strong in authoring, but the fact that they're all still there, that increases. More quirky indie. Both the Nijai and Bijai are very represented in music, but the Nijai tend more towards indie. We already knew that to a degree, but with this exodus of a bunch of these Bijai that I thought might be Nijai, they were mainly more mainstream pop. So when they left, that leaves the remaining music artists to be stronger on the indie stuff.
That makes sense.
More reclusive. So a lot of the ones that I thought were possibly Nijai were something else where they had kind of like that vibe, but they were more like out and showy. So of the more reclusive Nijai, almost none of the reclusive Nijai were turned over. So that element is increased.
Roster or something.
Exactly.
Like that, yeah.
And the last one here is actually a few more here. Irreverence. The ones that were turned over as something else that thought, say for now, particularly say Bijai and Jinai, is that they actually are more mainstream. The Nijai are less able to get adjusted, they're less willing to get adjusted with the status quo than either the Bijai or Jinai. So when the Bijai and Jinai were removed, the ones that remained had that a lot more irreverence to them.
Cool.
There's more of a
We have
mainstream.
a very hard time fitting in with the mainstream.
And so pretty much all those ones
Better or worse.
had that strong kind of like irreverence to them, none of them were turned over. They all remained. What else? Poetry is all the poet Nijai remained. So again, when those other ones are taken out, the fact that those all remain, none of them got turned over, that increases their concentration levels. And last one here, melancholia. Jai is prone to that in general, but there is more of a vigorousness in a certain way to the adsens, the Bijai and the Jai B. And so, and in the case of ones I thought mistakenly were Nijai, they were actually Jinai. Jinai have more of that up, pilot energy. So when the sort of Jinai were taken out and that removed that element, that's sort of more like, forward beaming quality. And then also the Bijai have more of a like, they have sort of that pouty Jai. All Jai motors have the pouty thing going on. But the V kind of gives more like of a overall vivaciousness, whereas the knee seems to give more ethereal. And so it's more ethereal, impressionistic vibe, and along with that, there's sort of like this kind of like magical melancholy note as well.
I think that's the vibe. The vibe has that melancholy.
Yeah.
The nai and the vi and the ni together, and with the jai, I think that combination like creates like makes for melancholic sort of this disposition. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Makes sense.
Nostalgia goes in with that. The Vijay can live, from what I'm seeing, can live in the environment,
Easier.
the physical world, easier than Nijai can. Nijai
Absolutely.
have trouble with the physical environment. We just, it's not.
Yeah, so I don't think.
Alien.
Yeah, I think the melancholia is actually a byproduct of it, because I don't think like there's naturally more melancholy. I think there's several things come off of it, which is there's more existential.
Do you think it's circumstantial? Like
Well, there's existential angst. The need.
Yeah, we don't feel like we belong anywhere.
So it's aware of things that others aren't. One of them is things to be melancholy about.
Yeah.
Still seem to have like whims of melancholia because picking up things that make that get stimulated.
Yes.
But also, well, the thing to do music and the authors, it stimulates them to do things that we're seeing in places. So all those things actually remain. So it's kind of a cool way of looking at it is that we have a much better understanding of the Nijat female.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of
So
time.
this doesn't apply to the male. This is more. This is all female at this point. What you're referring to?
Because the males, I think, are more accurate.
Oh, okay.
No, originally, and I don't think we had many Vijay in there. The Vijay are males are much rarer, so I don't think there was nearly as much issue with getting them mixed in.
Got it. That makes sense.
So they weren't part of this exercise necessarily, but some of the trends I'd imagine
Are the same.
have crossover.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
Actually, on that, to answer your question of more infinity, is like the techie angle. Actually, before this purification, it looked like the males were trending more techie than the females. But now with this more accurate Nijai female
I would
list,
think it's less.
it actually evens out more.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Um,
Slightly, at least.
So we have to move on now, but I do want to mention real quick that you should all check out when you get a chance, America Ninja Warrior. It is awesome. And when I thought American Ninja Warrior, because basically like pretending to be Prince of Persia on obstacle course, which is awesome. I figured it would be like a Naiji Central. No, we just watched the championship between U.S., Europe, and Japan. They have a 6-person team. I believe all 18 of them Nijai males.
It's the ability to roll with everything.
It's so cool. It's like it was their own personal spirit forest out there. It was really cool. So watch them.
Did I try out the show?
Yes.
I hope to get them in our list at some point, but unfortunately, that sport does not do a lot with the interviews yet that we can use. When it does, I'll definitely be adding them because they're cool. They're cool.
Yeah,
riffs.
and it was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll just say real quick, it's interesting because each one of the 3 blocks has their own. The members had their own specialty. So like the U.S. was like parkour and gymnastics, and then you had Europe, and they were like mountain climbers, and one gymnast, mainly mountain climbing, and then you had Japan, where they had actually been competitors in the Japanese.
They created the sport.
Yeah, they created the sport, so they actually were training like on specific, courses for the Ninja Warriors.
So we must move on, but just know, great drama. It was awesome, and their spirit energy. It was very, very
Cool.
inspiring.
Cool to
Very
see
cool.
also the several of them had Naiji ladies.
Okay, one thing we
It
go.
was so cool to see them
Is one of the
cheering.
top competitors have been training Nijai Male to beat this one event. He's one of the top guys, but this one thing has been troubling for him, so he really wanted to beat it this year. And he got to it, and he fell again. And so when you fall into a pool of water. So he's now in the pool of water, and you can tell like he almost doesn't want to get out because like he's just really like distraught with himself. And so his wife always cheers wildly, as a Naiji fan will do. She actually jumps the fence, runs, and jumps in the water with him, so he'll feel better.
So cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
That's
That.
that's awesome.
on that note, let's go ahead and get into the quiz.
Sounds good.
Charlene, I'll let you take lead on that, and I'll come back in when it's time to review them. The answers are in the email.
We have an email. Where is the email?
The answers are hermetically sealed and Karnak the Magnificent.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so let's. Okay, Marine Vach, however you pronounce her last name, Vach. I said Naiji.
I said Naiji.
I said G9.
I said Shiny.
I said Naiji.
I said Nijai.
And I said Naiji.
Nizy.
Said Naiji. Okay. Green Vach, she is Naiji.
Awesome.
Okay, so can I have a show of hands? Okay, so it's okay 3.
Let's ready to show him.
4.
4. Sorry. You got struggle. 1, 2, 7, 8 out of 8. Okay. Cool. Next is Holly Valance. I said Vijay.
I said Vijay.
I said Naiji.
I said G9.
I said Nizai.
I said Vijay.
I said Nizai.
I said G9.
Okay. Let's see. Holly Valance is Vijay. Vijay. Okay. Can I have the show of hands? So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. Okay. Maria Valverde. I said Naiji for her.
I said Naiji.
I said Nijai.
I said Shiny.
I said Naiji.
I said Shiny.
I said Nijai.
I said G9.
Okay. Let's see, Maria Valverde. She is Naiji. I think show of hands. Yeah, okay. 3. Okay.
By the way, did we skip Dilshad Vatsaria?
I thought she was an extra credit.
She was extra credit.
She's an
Extra credit? I didn't know.
Save her at the end.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I think Coach updated her in the quiz because there was some footage, but I guess not as much as the others. So.
Okay. Good to know. I didn't even realize that.
Oh. Jessica Van. I said Jaini.
I said Shiny.
I said Naiji.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
I said Shiny.
I said Nizai.
Okay. Let's see what she is. Jessica Van is Jaini.
Sweet.
Hey, I got one right.
Huh.
So show of hands. I think it was 3. You had it,
So great today.
but you were close. I mean,
You know what?
you had Janez, right? You said Janai. Annalise van der Poel. I said Nizai for her.
I said Nizai.
I said G9.
I said Nijai.
I said Nizai.
I said Nizai.
Nizy.
G9.
Okay. And Annalise is Nizai.
Ooh.
Yeah. So how many show of hands? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Thank you. Okay. Last one, Dilshad Badsaria. I said Vijay.
I said Naiji.
Okay.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
I said Naiji.
I said Nijai.
What'd you say, Gabe? Did you already-
Nizy.
Okay. And Starglow, you said.
Nizai.
Okay. Dilshad is Vijay.
Vijay.
Vijay. Okay, so we'll show of hands. Okay.
You're terrible this week.
Yep.
This week was really tough.
It
Yeah.
fluctuates.
So wasn't it me?
I literally didn't get any of them right.
Yeah.
What goes up must come
didn't either.
down.
I actually had one of them, first one at the right answer, but then I changed it last second. I thought that
Seriously.
like the 100 one.
I had that was this, and I am the third sample. Oh, I said Nijai, but I it was Nijai.
All right, so why don't you go take lead?
Yeah.
Got 'em right.
I mean, like on most of them, I was close, but I mean, I don't know.
Which ones were missed the most?
I think Dilshad was
Is that the extra credit?
the extra credit one. Yeah.
There's one decent video, isn't there? There's one decent video.
Yeah, there is one
Good.
decent video. Okay. So we'll do
Yeah, the only one I was a positive about, I actually got right. So I feel good about that at least.
yeah.
Which one are you positive on?
Marine Sith,
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Naiji. And that's because I got that Naiji feeling from her, although, of course,
Yeah.
opposite sex.
Good job.
Yeah. It's a Dilshad. Yeah, there's one that's 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes.
Did anybody get her right?
I did.
I got the power compounds down, but totally the wrong mojo.
Yeah, I got. What's that?
Is he?
Oh yeah, what'd you get?
We're looking at Dilshad. I said Nijai.
Nijai.
Nijai, right?
With one is the laser eye, dancing eyes. Anyone else guess something else besides Nijai?
I guess Nizai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just point out things.
So adaptive directive, laser versus dancing eyes.
Logic-based body vision.
Yeah, and what I was missing was, I think I was mixing up the signal between the Z and the Xi, which on the surface doesn't make sense, but it's that steadying feeling, if that makes sense.
Using double barreling, and so she's using quite a bit of reasoning, and sometimes that can give like signals of more logic based, and then as far as like the Xi,
If one of you could,
cooler. What's that?
I would love to see how she is a Jai Mojo. That would help me.
Okay, yeah, we'll come up.
Yeah, rather than G.
That out. Cool.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Glenn, I sent you the link. I'll get started.
Daria Rebecca Logan
Okay.
from Greek, and you're watching Clever TV.
She does have one thing that like right away popped out. She does have a good game because she knows to articulate and then come in with flashing like Jai every once in a while, and she sparkles with the Jai. So she does have a good game.
That inherited.
What's that?
Good articulation, also some good, nice, slinky.
Nice, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the set of Greek. I'm Dana Ward for Clever TV, and we are here with Dilshad.
Yeah, so one thing that hit me right away is like I saw objective, I saw, and I also saw like, to me it jumped as a gatherer, just because it riffed off of either like that placid, like double barreling look, like not necessarily, it's because G9 to me look a little different because they have more of like that forward energy. She has more of a placid, what's that? Receptive. Yeah, placid, receptive countenance. Not so much setting boundaries. And another thing that I noticed here, and I'm like at 21 seconds, is that I see emotiveness in going into her cheeks. So that started to rule out the logic base for me. And also another thing that jumped out right away was her eyes are laser. They're laser on like at 21 seconds. She's drinking in the interviewer, but it's in a very focused. Her eyes never quiver, and that continues throughout the interview. Those were things that kind of jumped out right away.
Yeah, they don't skirt the drinking like Nijai do.
Yeah, well, yeah, Nijai sort of like drink all over the place, like around things. You know, they don't like come at it like directly.
Yeah.
Very true.
Skirting.
Yeah, reading a book, how so? Can you elaborate?
Well,
on
like,
that?
you know, when someone is reading a book, they're reading the words, but actually, you know, particularly like Nijai, for example, they're getting into it as they read the words, and kind of
So the
stories
ideas
are playing in their
percolating?
head. So when Nijai stare at you, they're still reading that way. So they're looking at your face, but it's like making them get these thoughts. So they say they drink, that's why it kind of quivers. It's like that.
Very
true. Are so clear.
Wow.
They just straight on. They're just straight on and just clear.
Yeah.
And steady.
Yeah, like you're right there.
Interesting.
That's like the most. That's the most important feed is what you're getting out there, that reception, rather than necessarily like percolation of ideas that are playing around in your head.
Got it.
Aria, how are you, my dear? I love how fashionable is actually your wardrobe, right?
She's drinking in. Focus.
What are you guys working on right now where you're such a classy...
Okay, so when you say Infinity, you were talking about Jai versus G.
Yeah.
Something that she does, and she just did it here at 37 seconds, I'll play it back. She resonates inward and warmly when she does it. Like she'll roll her sort of her jaw inward, you know, and like in an articulating motion, and like take an intake of breath.
Like turtling.
Like turtling, yeah, and it's sort of, and the emotiveness goes up as she does it. Yeah.
Could I see it again?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll play it back.
Thanks.
I think all adapters naturally do more turtling because it's a power thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Working on right now where you're such a classy lady.
You saw
the girls and we're shooting all the ZBT meeting, and it's the first time you see the the new president for this season.
Yeah, she keeps she keeps closing her eyes, and when she does, her eye wells up. Like you'll see.
Yes.
Not so much of like an outward, like and smile as like she's going outward. It's more of like as she's resonating pinging off of what the interview is saying, and she goes and she closes her eyes, and then like you'll see the jai go up into her cheeks, and then she closes her eyes, so you'll see the jai go up into her cheeks.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's the disengagement when she smiles.
Good point.
Yeah, yeah, and you also see her. We've said before, like the lower lip usually tends to have more energy for jai mojos.
Right.
For her, and you'll keep seeing like her lower lip will quiver, and you even see it now. It has more energy to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where are you gonna be?
That giggle was
she's a bit of a dick.
inward. She kind of went outward as she
I think we need to move on. Let's do one more to try and knock it out in a couple minutes.
This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing
And
it.
then I want to get some
done.
libraries in.
It's one of those episodes. So yeah,
I think we're
you
good
kind
this
of transformed.
Okay.
Cool. So let's do one more.
Do one more.
Is there another one people have particular interest in for our next one to cover before we move on to the libraries?
Yeah, we had 3 that had 3 out of 8. There was Holly Valance, there was Maria Valverde, there was Jessica Pan. I don't know if
Does anyone have a preference on any of those 3?
Holly Valance, I wouldn't mind.
Okay.
There we go.
Cool. Good. She was
Another Vijay.
Vijay. Okay. And what did you?
I said Nizai.
So did I, but I actually wanted to guess Vijay like in the first 3 seconds, but my mind just I mind jobbed myself out of it.
Elsewhere, yeah.
I actually got her correct, so maybe I can add some thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely,
please chime in then on these.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes.
Okay, that I'll just say real quick, like that right away, like she went. I know several of you did say Nijai and stuff, but she did go to the right away, and she smiled, and it went up into her cheeks. So.
Yeah, I don't know why I took that as Cheshire Cat. That was a mistake. Yeah.
But she has a very vigorous
smile. Yeah.
position. So see that.
You know what's going to happen. I'm going to put the battery in. Okay.
Yeah.
Let you count us down.
She's kind of cagey. You see like the slinkiness of the Nye too with her. Although it's a little clearer, I think, with her. You see the gather.
And I'm making a new term up here. I'm trying to find the right term for it. We had before, like, we were calling it like plastic or something, but I don't know if that's the right word. Is we distinguish between the knee alpha and V alpha, their hands is fleshy and Gumby. I think it's also in their face, their skin. That face, it's more fleshy.
Yeah, very much. I enjoy
the texture of the skin in both V alpha is more fleshy. It's in the hands and the face, and the knee alpha, their hands are Gumby, their faces are also Gumby.
Yeah.
New term. That's Gumby face.
Yeah.
Not, sorry, that's
Gumby is a little bit hard. No, I'm trying to get a definition of a Gumby face.
Gumby face. Oh, God.
The name that, like a face that I think of a lot. Yeah, when I think of Gumby face. Yeah.
It sounds like it would be like softer. Like the Nez would make it more yin of a look.
Impressionistic.
Yeah, more impressionistic. Yeah.
Impressionistic, yeah.
The words we've used before in the past are that the knee gives more impressionistic, and then the V gives more like a plastic or waxy look. But I wanted a better word. That wasn't the best word, so I was trying to find something else.
I like fleshy.
Yeah, plastically doesn't sound. Maybe something more like.
So I think Gumby and fleshy is good because it works in the hands, and it's the same thing we're talking about. It moves different because there's a smoothness in the hands of the V alpha. Do you know what I mean? They're both like those kind of like gathery digits, but it's smoother. Their skin is more. It's more yang. They actually have more yang tensioning in their.
It's more supple. It's more supple, I think.
More
In a way.
really plump. Or
Yeah, plump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Imagine I'll call somebody
Really.
a fleshy face.
Hey, the other fleshy. You got a fleshy face.
Yeah, more fleshy.
Also the cadence. It's not a bouncy cadence. It's really
Yeah, that is.
consistent.
It is
Yeah.
kind of grounded,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
They're earthy.
Yes. You're totally right. Oh, that's why I thought maybe at one point she was in IG. Okay, that makes sense.
Clock. You guys up for some live reads?
I think we
Yeah,
all.
I'm game.
Sound. I'm
Yes,
all
please.
game for that for sure.
I got a cool sample for you guys. We're gonna do a women's MMA.
Interesting.
It's she's on the new season of Ultimate Fighter. We got a lot of them last time, I think, but this is one we didn't get. Her name is Heather Clark, and I will give you a hint. She's not a Durham.
All right. All right. Very pleased about
This is
that.
a challenge.
Freaking.
Like,
Good.
What's
Independent thinking.
because as far as we're concerned, it could be like any like Mojo pretty much.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could
Beautiful.
consider. I mean, like, because I mean, there are comparisons like male and female.
Well, I'm very glad about this. I think we need to do more of this, by the way, where we have exceptions to the rule within a given bubble, so that we get out of box thinking.
I try to do when they come up, but the one that you can't do is force it.
Right.
Whenever you try to,
Exactly.
it causes. Anytime I'm like, I need to go get such and such, doesn't work. The only that works to some degree is if I can pick certain bubbles to investigate, knowing there are going to be propensities. But other than that, that's about all you can really do.
Makes sense.
Yeah, maybe just like note to the side. We'll do like if you see an exception to the rule, have that as a live read. Note that to the side somewhere. That would be cool.
That would be gorgeous.
Totally.
Yeah.
I would like that a lot.
That's basically what I did when I saw it. That's why I thought it'd be an exciting read that way. So I'll do that in the future. Is try to make some more interesting things there.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Okay. Okay, team. We have our video. Let me load it up.
Is it Clark with an E at the end or K at the end?
No.
No.
Hey,
A picture.
Yeah.
K at the end.
Yep. Okay, let me. Oh, interesting. Yeah, she was one that I had noted when I watched the episode that she looked different.
I noticed
She had
her too. Yeah.
She has an interesting look to her face. I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure what it means.
Yeah.
She does.
Not Jerome.
Yeah, not
I
Durham.
think I already know.
She was actually the one that I guessed that it would probably be.
It's not playing for me right now.
And I'm curious it'll be for the reason that I think.
It's we're not seeing her yet. Actually, I was just looking at pictures.
Oh, because oh,
I'm sorry. Say that again, Ben.
oh, because there's a video up right now.
Yeah, I just hadn't played it yet. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You're not out of sync.
Start off by asking you how you got your start on mixed martial arts.
So I started off in LA with basically
Okay,
just
she's going on a ride.
doing mostly photography work. I wasn't really working that much, so I was looking for a martial arts gym or a kickboxing gym to kind of get back to kind of get back into shape.
Sure.
I've done kickboxing and boxing in the past, but more or less just for fun. And did some amateur boxing for a few months when I was in college.
She seems
but
to be
more or
looking
less I did
away
it
from
for
the
fitness.
camera.
And so I found a gym, and I ended up going over there and finding that I really liked it. And my coach
Her eye contact's a bit more fleeting.
Yeah.
Kind of goes on and rolls over.
basically talked me into believing that I could do it as a profession. And once he kind of made me believe in that, I put it in my mind, and I set the journey to begin.
Awesome stuff. So let's move forward then, and let's talk about your fight this past weekend.
Okay. What would you like to know?
Just tell me how it went and the whole experience of fighting. I guess this was your second fight with XFC?
Yes. Yeah.
Her mouth
great
seems
shows,
a little more
really
consistent
happening,
with unaware. I'm seeing some unaware.
And with that too.
movement.
I don't know if I'm right on that.
There.
I am seeing a bit of that.
Yeah.
Opponent a couple weeks ago, and so that was
Pretty sure because she's not a Durham, she's most likely going to be a Z and Jai user.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her cheeks.
Well, yeah, I mean the other option would be like Dursen, but I don't think I'm seeing
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any Dursens.
Yeah.
Or except no Vaiji. Vaiji.
There were Vaiji in MMA.
Yeah, there
And G Via in the
But
males.
I don't. That said, I don't think I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen Vaiji in the males and
We get a PGI.
Wrote out there.
We G Via as well, like Shamrock and everything.
Yeah, but I don't think.
You know,
But
reflections.
no, yeah, because it seems more like women's MMA is more newer, right? So Vaiji Mojo
Yeah,
is probably not.
exactly. I don't think I'm seeing.
yeah.
I don't
So
think
far, she's striking me more. I don't know. She's looking a little cunning in her eyes, to be honest.
I think she's a nice Z, honestly. I mean,
That's where I'm
yeah,
leaning towards.
that's the only, like the moment I saw her face, I just knew that was probably the most likely what she
Yeah.
was. Because Nijai, I think there was one Nijai, but she doesn't look like a gather at all.
No, she had
No,
more
no, no.
Gumby
Right.
face. Yeah, that she doesn't have so much a Gumby
Yeah.
face.
The only other reasonable kind of mojo would be the Z Nai, but I don't see that either.
No, she
But
does
I'm not
too much.
getting-
She disengages
yeah,
too
I'm not
much. I
getting
think like
pilot,
her,
yeah.
she keeps drifting, or like just I won't need it towards anything, but like disconnecting, like eye contact.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so I think the question is.
Darlene. I'm leaning that way too for that exact reason.
Yeah, and I don't see like Dima's pointed out, like her cheeks are really like keeping still so
Mhm.
far. I haven't seen a movement coming off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not much emotion at all.
And her fingers seem a little long, but seem more consistent with Wizard. But so we'll keep watching. But I think we're onto something.
Yeah.
Ended up on the ground, and I took advantage of that.
Okay, she's going to the right.
Minute 50, the first rear naked choke.
Looks a little
Okay,
tired.
cool. So who was in your corner for this fight?
I have my dad, Brad Clark, who's in my corner for all my fights. He's
Cool.
Dreading.
Yeah, he's kind of there just to kind of calm me down, I guess, keep me relaxed, and
Sure.
you know, just comfortable. And he's also with ER.
She does seem to have an easy time
He's always,
with
you know,
talking.
giving me a little bit of that faith that, like, if anything did happen to
She's
me,
got that hunter hunch going
I mean,
on.
it does seem pretty good.
in the
Yeah,
corner,
yeah, Hunter.
Coach
Noticing that too.
Just an amazing, amazing.
And it seems more directive because she placed her hair rather than the way an ad.
Yeah, more flicks it. Yeah, and sort
Okay,
of.
awesome. And who helped you get ready
More
for this fight?
conscious, more-
Who did you train with, spar with, that sort of thing?
It seems more V
You know,
too
for this
when
fight,
she
there
grabs
was
onto
a few girls that were gone for a little bit, so the more
From the boundary setting than I have as a Z user, so again, I'm thinking it was stronger boundary setting.
the people
Yeah.
from Canada.
You're saying you're seeing boundary setting? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Wyoming Jackson.
Yeah, she has that
Definitely,
hunter
yeah.
hunch, and it's sort of like
Getting ready for a boxing fight the day after my fight, so we sparred a
it
lot.
doesn't seem.
You know, I was in
like
there
very
I was
approachable.
coaching back for Holly for her fight up, a couple of I guess a week ago. Julie Kedzie was there, and
She's
she's
been kind of monologuing
a
this
lot. The
this
135er, so
this whole time.
Yeah.
are a lot. We left jiu-jitsu. Another guy named.
Is anyone thinking about any other mojo besides the Nizi? Like, what's anyone else thinking?
I don't know. I'm not really, so confident on Durham quite yet.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen
neither
enough
am I, to
really
tell you the
be-
truth. I mean, maybe it is, but I'm
Durser.
very,
is what-
very wobbly at this point on it.
I see.
Yeah,
I'm
right now,
considering actually. I'm still considering Dursens because I think there is a chance that that's drone in the eyes. I'm just making sure. But I'm not really too confident either way. I'm just right now I'm leaving my options open. I've only seen like 6 minutes of footage, actually 4 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I'm keeping it open, but right now, I'm like all the cues that I'm seeing are leading me to that.
I did notice that we started to like settle on like or not really settle, but like move very strongly towards Durser after the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Eliminate the Durham.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely leaning towards Nizi the way the conversation was going.
Yeah. Okay, we have another one here. Interviewed by Main Event. Let's see that one. Okay, let me get that link first. Okay. And here you go.
Thank you.
So I actually was living in Maui for a couple years and running a surf school, surfing every day, active lifestyle. Moved back to LA where I'm originally from, and I was just every day eating like what I couldn't eat on the island and everything. And I got a little bit, overweight, and I was like looking for kickboxing.
Looking away. This is in person this time with her. It's not even via camera. But I'm still seeing that same.
I see a broken rhythm cadence with the way that she did that.
Yeah, she does like a.
One night on Halloween, I ended up going out with the head coach named Roberto.
That seems like quite a bit of tension, percussion that she's doing in her movements.
Festival. He looks at me and says, I've been watching you.
So percussion, what does that mean exactly? That
How directors tend to have more percussion in their movements, like more piercing, more weight-bearing movement, I guess drive energy from their
impact on the environment, as opposed to the more recoiled kind of viscosity.
Yeah, that comes with adaptives. Yeah.
I really like the overhand right, even though I'm.
Yeah, to like compare it with a Visey female like Sally Ride. And Sally Ride's got good game, she's got great knee, but she still has that earthiness.
And these eyes don't end up in polar knee. You know how the Bialphas have that polar knee look to them? That looks.
My biggest inspiration in life is my dad.
I don't know.
They're scared of it's kind of like a fear of the possibility of almost, right?
PR position.
The what?
Dyslexic.
Like with the Phi Alpha, they have like a. It's a really interesting look. They look kind of like freaked, but their knee looks kind of freaked out a little bit.
Yeah, it has like this
possibilities.
There's I'm sure there's a better word for it, but like a little wigged out or a little like.
They could do some crazy.
Crazy eyes.
Yeah. Crazy eyes, sure.
I'm sure they'll
But
like
we
that.
don't think, we don't think Vi Alpha are crazy.
No, it's like the Ni Alpha,
Yeah.
they have like a V bug out
Right.
eyes.
Yeah.
I think the Ni Alpha have like a knee bug out.
Uh-huh.
Could be.
Yeah, uncomfortable with the possibilities, just as I am
By the
uncomfortable
way,
with
if anyone has seen an awesome, if you want to see an awesome example of a Vaji with awesome knee pull or bug out, take a look at Conor McGregor, the mixed martial artist, when he's at weigh-ins. He like screams some sort of primal thing, and his eyes go big perk up, and that is not V. That is crazy knee.
What's his name?
Conor McGregor.
Conor, yeah.
Finally, he's like this on the weighing stand, like screaming, and he's got crazy knee eyes going.
Funny. Connor.
McGregor.
I want to see that. I want to see that so bad.
Put it on. Put it on.
Wait, yeah.
After this. After this one, put him on.
Okay.
Oh, he's intense.
That's our reward.
Yes.
This guy looks badass.
Yeah, he is.
He's one of the
He's
top guys now.
Yeah, one of the current
Interesting.
Is,
dogs.
besides being very, very skilled and physically talented, he is personally, psychologically extremely intimidating. The way he conducts himself, he kind of like just unnerves people that deal with him.
Yeah, because he
Jets hunters are very good at that game.
Yeah.
Of the Vaji, I think he's better than the Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
As far as psych out.
He has more knee. He wouldn't like make fun of people for like, oh, no, we're doing kicking in circles now or something.
That's-
Like he accounts for that.
Yeah.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
Okay.
But Conor McGregor next.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he
We'll
looks
talk about it
like
later. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Like went through just with that will.
He's a Vaji, right?
Ability of, like nothing's gonna stop me and I'm gonna make it, and he's kind of raised me with that same will to never give up, never quit. So he's my big inspiration. My main coach is John Wood. Here at
I still
Temple,
haven't
and
seen
then
emotiveness
recently,
come above the midline.
Roxanne Modafferi. She's been one of my biggest
she's
sparring
still-
partners.
There.
And then now I'm
So
actually
pop
training
is
with
like
Lucia
sheer
Tate
to
for her
me.
upcoming
Yeah.
fight. I like them both. You know, out of my 6 wins, I have 3 submissions and 1 knockout, 1 TKO. So, you know what? I'm happy being wherever as long as I'm dominating.
You see the cheek going up on the right hand side more even. That happens with Josh.
I love it. I love being able to know that I'm good in any situation. You know, I can handle myself. Gives me the confidence in just everyday life, and no matter what I'm doing, I feel fit. I feel healthy. I feel in shape. So I love it. I love the style of it.
If you guys notice, but she does have seems to have a hunter hunch in this one
I
as
think
well.
my work ethic, my
pretty
determination.
I really appreciate that she has good shy development, and that she's like a lot of Nizi. They can end up going the route of being like really cynical, or like like not like really bracing in a negative way, and they can kind of come off as a little bit more like assholes and stuff, especially the males. But she's a lot more soulful, and she's a lot more happy with herself internally. Like she's got like that, and it shines through.
Shy development, and she uses it quite a bit, but it doesn't seem overmodulated to where it slows her down. It actually, she.
Yeah. Has she been confirmed?
No. Sorry.
You guys
I know we're talking about. I was like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You're kind of talking like this is already like known. Like.
Just noting cues that we're noticing.
That's true. That's true.
But I will.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah.
Oh well, I think she's pretty much. I think most likely she's going to be a nice Z. The only other mojo that I'm thinking is maybe like what Ben said is like IZ.
Well, okay. So I'll put it on
I don't
there.
see that.
Are there any other mojos that we as a group would like to put out there or like
Explore?
consciously explore?
I tried to classify it against adapters, but I'm not even seeing adapters.
Yeah, I thought niche I would be considering.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree that she's directive.
But
I'm just trying to make sure that like there isn't like that she's not either like a Xenai or like a Baiji or something.
Let's
I mean
explore
that's basically.
Let's
Her eyes. If you look at her eyes, they kind of look weary.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're concerned. They look like they're like weary from battle, kind of that kind of thing.
And she does quite a bit of disengaging of her eyes.
I
So
agree with that. I kind of noticed that.
That leads me to subjective too, because she does disengage
True.
more than I would.
Or rather, you think you're seeing that she looks like that she's disengaging with her
She
eyes.
looks like she's
say that again.
more than.
Sorry.
Well, she's
Or
actually.
rather, you
Sorry,
are seeing that she is disengaging with her eyes.
Yes. So
we
those are
should
things
make
that
sure we're not saying things definitively like we already have been
A
given an
pilot
answer.
could still disengage. It's just the ratio. So I am seeing disengagement. It's just.
I was talking about something else. Sorry,
Okay.
Starkle. I'll hear you out what you're saying.
So to address your point, Ben, we're noting cues that are happening. Whether she is truly disengaging. That those are points. So now what that means is open for interpretation. Right. I'm just pointing out data points, and that is a correct thing to do in the read. Now.
Yeah, I agree. We were talking. I was talking about
like disengaging are actually maneuvers. That's good. This is good distinction. Maneuvers are things that anyone can do, and then you can try to interpret what that means when you're seeing it. Such as she's articulating a lot. That's not actually saying what a person is, but if they are speaking a lot, you can say that without actually calling anything. So they're disengaging a lot, they're speaking a lot, they're leaning forward. Those are actually maneuvers. And so, pointing out maneuvers it is good to do and useful. And
I think that's fair. Yeah, I was talking about. Yeah, it was just communication there. I misinterpreted.
Yeah, whatever. She's an IZ.
What I was talking about was something completely different than what you were actually trying to point out with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I thought you were trying to indicate that she was disengaging with Nye or something.
Oh no, I was
that's what I interpreted.
Maneuvers.
Where you're just talking about the disengagement itself, like
anyone towards. I know we were playing out with Nye Z, but I hope it didn't come off, and I'll try to
conversationally. I just assumed that was what it was referencing, but it wasn't.
Okay.
So for me, I'm also thinking that the amount of disengagement is more than it would be for a pilot. I think.
Yeah,
what I'm saying,
I got to throw this out there. Don't think in terms of how much disengagement. Think in terms of alter state.
Right.
That's a good point. Very good point.
In the other videos that I'll throw out is that there seems to be not a locking kind of quality to her engagement.
You have some black
Do I?
there. Yeah, I noticed that.
I have no idea what that
we'll
secretes.
Yeah.
What? I didn't catch that.
Sorry, he has some black specks on his neck.
Unknown black specks. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you were saying?
I'm good.
Yes. Okay. So we'll keep.
One thing I mentioned on here, since you guys were talking about subjective objective, one thing I like to do in those cases, you may have noticed, is I do like to freeze frame on when they do 1,000-yard stare or close their eyes to see if I can see if that's natural or alternate. So I'd recommend if that's something you're trying to figure out and weigh, I like to weigh those on a freeze frame a lot of times.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Cool.
Ooh, that was very helpful actually.
So hit the pause on the next drift.
Yeah, I have it paused at 135 on this one, and she's kind of closing her eyes, but she's looking to her right, and it looks really like she's having a channeling moment. A very it looks like it's like going home for her. Like it looks natural for her to go into her subjective powers.
Okay, yeah. And at 351 right now, where we have a freeze frame, she's also doing the same thing where she's going disengaging.
And she looks very comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
I would have to say, if I were to gauge between altered and natural, this does seem to fall in the natural.
It's good what you guys are doing, but to make sure you don't be thrown off at all by what's happening in other regards, because there's other fields going on. I like to get a 1,000-yard stare. I have a distinct. I didn't really realize it until you guys.
Cool.
I have a distinct preference for the 1,000-yard stare where they're looking straight out with both powers. Either a straight 1,000-yard stare, or they close their eyes and they're just looking straight on.
Okay. Cool.
That would be really nice to see.
I lost the split incident, but I believe That's it.
It's that look when they kind of look zoned out, right? Kind of.
Yeah, when they kind of stare out into space with the kind of both eyes in the same plane.
I want to be
there.
Yeah.
There. At
What time
4
is that?
minutes. 4 minutes 7 seconds.
So she's not directly staring at the camera. I mean, this is.
No, she's looking
It's
at
ideal,
the
like
face.
when they're doing 1,000-yard stare, like if they're directly staring at you. It's a little easier to see, but you can still see it from here.
Yeah, that's above the camera.
Yeah, that's not focusing in on an object that like seems like her eyes are kind of.
They're not looking at anything objective. They're looking beyond everything else.
Oh, that's kind of accurate. That's pretty good.
There, 4 minutes 13.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I mean, to me at least.
That seems very like at ease.
Yeah. Oh.
I think that's also something. Like with the natural state powers, they're more like a sigh of relief when they're used. Whereas the other ones, they're sort of like you're holding your breath and you're like holding onto it and you're trying to like do that thing.
Underwater.
It's like you're going
Yeah.
for a dive or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Doesn't mean you can't do it well.
Right. Good point. Good point, Mitchell.
What was that, Mitchell?
No, it's just dead. Like they're holding their breath. It's kind of like you're going for a dive when you're doing your own.
Yeah. And there's also like a rapidness in the breathing because
And then you
it's
come up
it's
to the
more
dive.
easier to get fatigued.
It was exciting and just someone that I enjoy watching. That's it, really. Known as one of the best, in my division, and I will get there. I will. I won't stop.
Also, if we want to consider literals versus interpretives,
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are noticing this, but I seem to be noticing that her eyes are more furtive, like more
Fidgety.
fidgety.
Dispersed?
Yeah, not locked locked onto a particular data point, not straight on. I guess I can't get a lock on her eyes necessarily, like most of the time, except for a few times when she flashes, seems to flash on points.
So if she was a 5G or something.
Or V. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like a Vi Alpha, it's more like they're looking at something specific in their worldview, whereas an I Alpha is looking at something like there's a gap. There's like they don't know what they're looking at. There's like that area is unknown.
It's kind of conceptual.
Conceptual idea.
You guys, more
I
minute?
feel pretty good.
Okay, you guys
Good on this one.
look at pictures and kind of talk through what we're thinking.
I would really like to move on from this one, actually. Personally, I feel like I want to like close this one out. But you guys are free to like look at it more.
Okay, yeah, I mean.
It looks like it's approaching 10:30 though. I mean, unless we want to, go past that.
Okay, so I would say I'm comfortable saying Nizy.
I'm good with Nizy too.
I'm pretty comfortable with Nizy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably my best guess.
I'll say it's just.
Okay. Does anyone want to throw in something else for like a second choice? Because I know we do like second choice or third choices sometimes. Are there any others that you feel that she could be?
I feel like she's not a Nizy at all. I feel like she's probably a Durham. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're bad. You're bad.
Okay.
She was a shiny
What if she actually
I know, she's an IG all of a sudden. Yeah, psych.
You're completely
I got you.
Guys, what you brought up is still stick with
failed the
Durham.
test.
That does happen. Like we do get something that's completely different, but the right answer.
Failed the test.
Unless
Still the grasshoppers.
I'm totally reading it and he's adaptive.
Yeah, I mean, from the cues that I think I'm seeing, I keep being drawn to like unawareness in her movements, mouth movements. Her eyes seem to be coming inward, outward, she disengages a lot, seems natural when she does that, and she goes in monologues a lot. She has cunning eyes, seems to me, and I don't see emotiveness going into her cheeks. I see hunter hunches, and I see quite a bit of tensioning in her gesturing.
Yeah, the problem with second and third choices, I feel like we sort of refuted everything else.
We haven't actually really
I don't want to say the second, third choice are Nijai and Sinai because we kind of said that just doesn't make sense based on what we're saying.
All right.
Okay, so we say Nai Z.
But at the same time,
The answer is Nai Z.
Okay.
It's Nai Z. All right, well done. Nice done, team. So a little fun with an exotic. All right. So before we sign off, let's pull up the video of Conor McGregor at weigh-ins. It's quite something. Either one of the chess hunters, when they get really into the psych out game, it's a thing of beauty. It really is. And I think on the Vaiji side of it, I think he's the best I've seen, at least in MMA. So, in fact, the last one we saw, he was dealing with a very tough-minded, fierce Vaiji, and he out Vaiji psyched out the other Vaiji.
Nice.
Yep, that's it. Okay, so this one's going to actually have them weighing in, and then their standoff. They don't even get close to each other because they just start rushing each other. That's how much Conor McGregor has gotten in this guy's head. So, but before then, as far as the knee crazy eye, when Conor McGregor gets on the scale, he does a primal yell. That is knee crazy eye right there.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing this.
So both these guys are Vaiji.
Who's the other guy, by the way? I guess we'll find out.
Poirier, he's also Vaiji. So that's double Vaiji. Let's see. Here's the link.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Enjoy.
Next up, we get to a feature bout in the featherweight division. Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Nino.
One thing real quick, just for a little context, because they're both trying to psych each other out. Although Dustin loses the psych out battle and the physical fight, he does try to do it as well. He is a Vaiji and skilled in the arts. So you should know that the left side of the audience that he points at one point is entirely made up of Irish people, which is what Conor McGregor is for. So he tries to talk some smack to Conor McGregor's people. All right, there you go.
Oh my god.
There it was. Crazy eyes.
Oh, my video's not
That's
working.
Biggie.
He's intense.
Seriously, Biggie.
He has a lot of Irish supporters.
Those eyes look totally cracked out.
They're wild.
I know, it's like they just shot him with, I don't know, some sort of...
Naiji also a version that the Jez Hunters particularly have this crazy it's fanatic time.
Yeah.
He's an Irish fanatic.
He's already
Also, when Dustin gets on the stand for weigh-in, Conor does a muscle pose next to him and tries to steal away the attention. See, even now, he's trying to steal his attention. Yeah. Psychological warfare. Anything to get in his head.
He didn't go quite me and Biggie.
No. He tries to make up for it talking smack to the Irish people in a second.
Oh, that is crazy looking face that he's making.
Uh-oh.
Here it is. He's telling me it's his house. This is my house. Oh, snap.
Oh, come on, Hitman. Let him go.
It's like he's bringing his own storm.
What's that?
It's like he's bringing his own storm.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
It is.
Yeah.
The way that both the Jazz Hunters prefer to do it is the moment it registers that we will someday be fighting, even if we're not currently signed to fight, but I recognize that we're going to someday be in the same lists, I start trying to own you psychologically now. Just
Makes sense.
And so he's come on the scene. As soon as he came on the scene, he started telling everyone their flaws and the fact that what he's going to do to everyone in the division to just give them nightmares.
Oh, that's so funny.
And so far, he's delivered. And he has
Interesting.
He has everyone wants to kick his ass because of what he's doing, but he's using that to make them make mistakes. So far, no one's actually been able to keep their cool enough to do a good enough fight to beat him. So we'll see.
Interesting.
It's funny, like Nige can get like
Storm that he then rides, that he then surfs.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you do. You were saying, Ben?
Oh yeah, it's funny because Nige can also like really be impacted by that sort of thing when they know certain things about like that like they know that people are aware of like of like the way you do things that can get to your head. But they also, because of that, they also know how to get to other people's heads just as well, if not better, and then they plot to do that to beat them.
I love whenever it's Baiji on Baiji, Nige on Nige that way, and the rare treat is when you get a great Nige mind jobber with a Baiji mind jobber. Mwah! Mwah! Good times. Alrighty, with that, we'll call it a night. That was a great session, everybody.
Awesome session. Have an excellent tonight.
Have a great
Take
night.
care, everyone.
Bye. Take care.
All right.
Bye.